All right, so we're jumping right into the first play that we want to break down for Jason Garrett. We really wanted to show two different plays. One of them is kind of showing the predictability, and Anthony and I, we like this play call. It's just when you're at week 16, later on against a good defense like Baltimore, you have to be careful when you're calling the same play calls all season because at some point they're going to know what's coming. And in this specific play, they have Chuck Clark, a strong safety, lined up against Evan Ingram. You see the red line, the red circle drawn around Evan Ingram. He does an outside release. He's basically just running that spray fade that in man coverage that you want. The Giants love to call this play. They love the man coverage matchups. But the problem here is he's against a strong safety. He gets jammed at the line of scrimmage. And the strong safety, Chuck Clark, runs this route for him and even turns his eyes halfway through the route to try and make a play on the ball because they know the play is coming, right? They know exactly what's happening here. And this is basically a hot read to Evan Ingram. This is a one read throw. Daniel Jones looks to his right side to throw the safety off in the middle of the field because they're playing cover one, man coverage, and he just tries to look off that safety. And what happens is, that opens up the man coverage for Evan Ingram and just one-on-one. The problem is they know exactly what's coming, so they just jam him, and it's pretty easy for them to figure it out from there. I want to run it through, and then Anthony, I'll get your take on it.
Yep.
So you see his spray fade. Basically, he never had a shot. We're talking about a strong safety here. He's already has his eyes turning towards the football here because he wants to make a play on this ball. He knows he has over the top leverage on a deep throw against Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram doesn't even have a step on him. He's behind a strong safety who's in coverage. And he's like, I have the leverage right now. I might as well make a play on this ball. He squeezes him all the way to the sideline. Really, really great play, actually, from the strong safety. And Evan Ingram never had a chance here.
Yeah, I think it's really good coverage. I hate to just disagree with you right off the bat, but I actually really like this play. I like this play call. I just think the defense did a good job. I mean, I get the predictability part, right? The Giants have ran this play numerous times. They ran it against Philadelphia in week 7. They ran it against Philadelphia again when they beat them in week 10. They ran it against Cincinnati and it worked. They ran it against Tampa Bay and it worked. Tampa Bay is a good defense. So, I just think that Baltimore defended it well. Like Chuck Clark does an excellent job here. The whole idea is that you want the press coverage on Evan Engram. This is cover one. This is the exact play that you use to beat cover one. This is the right play call in this situation, but you just have to win your matchup. Evan Engram just has to win his matchup, and he doesn't. He just doesn't get the good release off the line of scrimmage. Remember when he ran this against Cincinnati, they ran a play, pretty much the same play. Evan Engram just flies by the corner that was guarding him, or the safety. He just gets such a good outside release, a very quick release. But you see right here, he's jammed. He's all pressed up. He can't get off of the line of scrimmage. And that's really what dooms this play from the start, because the whole idea, he needs to get right out of there. He needs to get off the line of scrimmage instantly, and he needs to get right past his corner. And usually he does, because Evan Engram is a Pro Bowler, and he is a very athletic, talented player. He can usually get past this guy and run this fade route well. Just for some reason on this play, it was really well defended, and he didn't run it well. The ball placement is still good. It would have taken an absolute perfect throw in order to complete this. I don't think this was really a completable pass anyway. You could say that Daniel Jones maybe should have looked it off and gone underneath, but I disagree. I just think, you got to be aggressive, give your guy a chance downfield, and we've seen him do it before. I know against the Bengals, actually, there was a play just like this where Engram didn't really get that much separation downfield, but Jones just put it in a perfect spot and they completed it anyway, right? I don't know if you recall that. That was on the left sideline. It was about a 44-yard gain. So we've seen this play work multiple times, and I expected it to work again when I saw them running this live. I knew which play was coming because I've been watching the Giants all season. So, yeah, I'm sure the Ravens probably had an idea of what was coming. But Evan Engram just doesn't win the route, and that happens. Sometimes you just don't win. Sometimes a defender does a better job, and I think that's really all that happened here.
Right. No, and I understand that. And from my perspective, what I'm thinking here is right off the bat, right? As a strong safety, he's not a cornerback, so he's covering press coverage because the Ravens are down multiple corners at this point. They've already went into the game with backups in, and right off the bat, you can see. As a strong safety, obviously when you're playing press, you want to have your shoulders square to the wide receiver. He does a really good job of that. And this is the thing. Evan Engram, he steps inside to the right to basically try and throw off the strong safety, Chuck Clark here. And he does not bite on it at all. He keeps his shoulders square.
Engram does that. all the time, though. Ingram does that a lot. It's like a little crossover in basketball. That's what Ingram's trying to do. This is his
Yes.
crossover release. He does it all the time, and it's usually really efficient. Just for some reason, Chuck Clark didn't bite. He knew it was coming.
Right. So that's exactly right. And right here, he gets, and this is what I would have liked Evan Ingram to do when you say about a bad rep for Ingram. I would have liked him to swipe those hands down, but Chuck Clark gets him right in the chest plate. He already lost this rep right here because the second he throws him off and he stops him that much, see, he doesn't even get his hand down. His hand's still on his chest plate. Now he disengages because he knows he already won this rep. He already has the leverage over top. And at this point, he's just pushing him. He's squeezing him to the sideline, making this throw, basically having to be pinpoint Mario Manningham, Eli Manning-esque. This has to be a dime. And it's not a bad throw by any means. Dalen Jones knows what he's doing here. But honestly, I would have liked the Giants, because since Baltimore clearly knows what's coming here, I would have liked them to change this up, because look at Sterling Shepard on the whip route. He completely fools that cornerback. This is a first down easily. If they just change this up and it's just not a one read to Evan Ingram. And I like you said before, I don't mind the man coverage shot downfield. We always ask for them to do this, but I would like this to be a high-low read. If he sees that the cornerback
I think it is. I just don't think that Jones got to his second read. I think it is a high-low read. He just didn't get there because Ingram and Jones have had such success on this play this season. I think that Jones is honestly just like, well, I'm just going to throw it because it works nearly every single time, so it should work this time too. But no, you're right. He should have looked down to Shepard and taken the first down. There's another play later on in this game where Jones he corrects this mistake. He looks downfield, it's not open, and then he takes a check down to I think Gallman, and they gain like 12 yards off of it. And it was a great play, and it shows good progression and development. But yeah, this is a play that I'm sure Jones would like to have back because he had Shepard wide open in the flat.
Yep. And there's a couple plays, that DJ actually goes through his reads efficiently. He looks good, moving his eyes across the field. And then there's others where he completely misses throws or whatnot. So, there's a lot to like and there's a lot to hate with this. I think personally, when you're in week 16 and you've been running this play all year with Evan Ingram specifically, and, a couple other players, but Evan Ingram is the focal point with this specific play. I think offenses and rather defenses that are good and they know what's coming, they play this to perfection. They have a strong safety on him and they completely lock it down. They jam him really well at the line of scrimmage in man coverage. And I think they knew what was coming. The safety, Chuck Clark, looks back to the ball to try and make a play because he has the over top leverage. And I think DJ needs to have that low read. And like you said, maybe he did have it. He just took the shot because they've had success in the past. But this is a play that, I would like to see a little bit different, maybe different formations, maybe swap the field on this. Do something different. Well,
sometimes they run it with a bunch formation. Sometimes they run it with the tight slots like they're doing this time. They've run this a few times this isn't the tight slots, but sometimes they run it with the tight slots. And, they do run the same play out of different formations. It's just, I don't know, man. Like I said, I just think Chuck Clark played excellent defense and Jones should have checked it down. But I also want to say this is a great throw. Like this ball is, in a perfect spot.
It's not bad at all.
If this ball is underthrown, it's
a great throw.
This ball, that ball is the only place it could be. Ingram just couldn't make the play. You can put the blame equally on Ingram for not getting off the line well enough, and you can put it on Jones as well for not taking the underneath route. It's just, it's one of those plays they had an opportunity and they missed.
Yep. And I think there's a little bit of blame to go around for everybody. Although I think the only thing I can con DJ for here is just not taking the low read for Sterling Shepard. But overall, it was, like you said, it was a great throw. Evan Ingram lost this route from the get-go. Mm-hmm. He never got over top leverage. He never was able to get past the strong safety in Chuck Clark. He completely just lost the rep, essentially. And I think with Garrett, when it comes to him and this play call specifically, I would have probably liked maybe something different just to confuse the defense, because it is man coverage and they always take advantage of this. Is the second they put up man coverage, they played a lot of cover one Baltimore in this game because they knew that they felt confident that their corners and their safeties could line up against the wide receivers for the Giants and tight ends, and it worked to perfection. The Giants couldn't really get anything going. And because of that, they knew they were like just asking the Giants to take shots like this. And I would have liked Jason Garrett to be a little bit less predictable, maybe call something different in this scenario, because they knew it was coming. They know how to defend it. They probably worked on it in practice all week. This is the only shot the Giants have at moving the ball downfield is plays like this. And they know this. And the lack of creativity, the lack of, changing the scheme, the concepts, that's kind of what concerns me a little bit at week 16 in the season, that they still haven't done anything different and they're running the same plays they ran in week 2. If they work, they work. But at the same time, you're playing a winning football team that's playing good football right now, and they have backup cornerbacks in, and they still couldn't take advantage with, like you mentioned, a Pro Bowl tight end. So that's my analysis. That's my evaluation. I would like to see a little bit better from everybody on this. But just we wanted to be fair to Jason Garrett and also say, this is a play that Evan Ingram lost from the get-go, and he definitely did not take advantage of man coverage on this specific route.
Yeah, and I'll just say one last thing. This play is the perfect play call against man coverage, against cover one especially. But that's because you have that route by Engram up the sideline, which should get open if he wins. And then you also have an exact man beating route underneath with Shepard. They just didn't hit it. They had to hit that man beating route and they didn't. And I'll stick to it. I like this play call. I think this is a good play call and a good play design, especially considering because it was called because they saw they were in cover one man. So they call this play.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is the fact that Shepard is running a man beating route and he's wide open. So I like this play. I like the play design. It's a high-low read, and he didn't get down to the low read. But nevertheless, I like this play call design by Garrett, whatever. I still don't like Jason Garrett. There's plenty of other plays we can look at that
Oh yeah.
are not nearly as well designed as this and just don't work like this. So, I'm still on the fire Jason Garrett train for now.
Yep, and we're gonna break out another play you'll see later in the video, and you'll see the hook routes again, and kind of it's a little bit better of a concept because it's not everybody's running a hook route. They try to take advantage of man coverage in this scenario and get guys open behind the man covered guys on the hooks. But you'll see the concepts are still relatively the same. The route tree is very limited for these receivers at times. This is actually not the worst called game for Jason Garrett this season. He actually played a lot better of a game against Baltimore than we've seen because he was trying to be more aggressive. The problem is the timing between the wide receivers and Daniel Jones are so off on a lot of occasions. It's just there's no chemistry, it feels like, that these guys have. So I would like, I feel like in week 16 there should be better chemistry. That's my biggest problem. All right, so here we have the second play that we want to take a look at with Jason Garrett. This is another one. We've seen the hooks, we've seen the curls, we've seen the stick routes for Garrett, and we all know that it's very limited in his route concept. His offense is pretty dull and predictable at this point in the season. Everybody knows what's coming. Defenses are playing man coverage across the board. Keep in mind the Ravens have two backup cornerbacks in this game. So, they should be able to beat this. This is why Sterling Shepard had such a good performance, because he was just beating his man all day long. And they started to realize that, and they started to just focus on him. But this is actually a decent play call. Basically, everyone runs a hook here except for CJ Board, who's running a dig route right behind the man coverage. And you'll see this right off the bat. Sorry, I'm going to go back a little bit. So also keep in mind here, Andrew Thomas gets beat really badly on this rep by Yannick Ngakoue. Yannick Ngakoue hits Daniel Jones's arm, which forces a bad throw. But you'll see on the other angle that I actually would have preferred DJ to throw this earlier. And he does this little burping the baby, as Anthony calls it, a little double clutch that really throws his timing off, and it's supposed to actually help his timing. But because he does that, the throw is a little bit late and he gets his arm hit. And it's a really good indicator for opponents and defenders that are more intelligent like Yannick, that his arm is going to go back there. It's a perfect time to try and swipe that ball out and try and hit his arm. So you'll see it in the all 22 front angle in a couple seconds. So as you can see, it's man coverage across the board. It's cover one, and CJ Board runs a nice route here right off the line of scrimmage. He wins inside leverage, and that's exactly what he wants. He wins that inside leverage. He gets those hands out of the way. He swipes up. And he just breaks into that dig. Bam, lowers his hips. And look, he has some decent separation here. This is all you need. That ball should be here right now, in my opinion. That ball should be here right now because now he has open field to run into. Instead, it's a little late and his arm gets hit. The ball should be in his hands right now. And you'll see that from the other angle. It's a little bit off. Obviously, his arm was hit, but it's the baby burping thing that really, really hurts his timing on the route. But you'll see it. And Anthony, what are you thinking right now?
Yeah, just go back. I want to point something out because this is a theme that we've seen with Jason Garrett's offense all season. If you just run the play, and then I'll tell you when to pause as you watch how this goes, and you see, just give it 1 second, and you pause it right here. It's literally just four guys standing there. and they're not doing anything. Yeah, there's one guy breaking over the middle, which is like the difference on this play. That actually this play works, and it should work because CJ Board runs a good route. But that's
Mhm.
been our opportunities where we have our receivers run a good route and separate like that have been few and far between. So I just want to point out how on this play, once again, against man coverage, I don't understand why Garrett just wants everybody to run to the sticks and turn around. It's lazy. It's poor designing. Like it's lazy. It's lazy football. You can do something better. You can run man beating concepts. You can run a deep dig with a streak right through it. That's a dagger concept. You can run a smash concept with a high low read. You can run a levels concept with a high low read. All of these designs are so much better than just curls. It's just curl, curl, curl. Like you have three curls right there, and then you have one guy break into the flat, which I believe is a running back. If not, it doesn't even matter. He's not even at the line to gain, and he's not helping anybody else get open with this route either. He's just there's just nothing creative about this. It's like, yeah, it works because somebody runs a deep in route and gets open. But yeah, that was a curl. He just ran a second route because he realized he wasn't open. Like that's all that was from
Mhm.
whoever that was on the outside. It's lazy, dude. It's lazy play design to just have everybody run to the sticks and turn around. And the biggest travesty about it is the players aren't even at the sticks. Two of them
Mhm.
aren't even at the line to gain. They didn't even run the
Yep.
route deep enough. If you run the route deeper, the cornerback is going to expect that you're going to be running a fly. And then you just stop on a dime. And because you already ran so far, you can work back to the line to gain. And the defender is way out of position because they already had to start sprinting downfield expecting you to run a go route. That's another difference. But
Mhm.
these guys, they get out of their breaks slow. They run these routes slow, and they just turn around at the line to gain. That's not how you're
Yep.
supposed to do it. It doesn't work. It's never worked all season long. It's led to turnovers multiple times this season. It's just lazy football.
Yeah,
Only
and also
saving
I'd
grace
like
on
to
this play is that in route. And then go ahead.
Right. I'd like to point out that this, we just covered the play before where, they take a shot in man coverage on those scissors in the outside release by Evan Ingram on the spray fade. But this is a scenario where I would like to see a man coverage shot here downfield. This is where I would like to see them take a shot because they are playing cover one man coverage and they're spread out. They're empty backfield, right? All they really have to do is draw that safety away and they have nobody on the outside. This is a scenario where I might say, okay, this is a good shot for them to take from the slot up on a seam. Try to look that safety off to the right side and hit him on the seam.
Well, see,
Something like that. But
yeah, but what they should do is that slot. He just stops here. He should just keep going, run that fly, and then this dagger or this
or look
this
at
dig
board.
route comes across. Yeah, board runs this deep in across, but because you have that safety being pulled away and that other cornerback being pulled away, you create like almost like a rub route, like 10 yards downfield, and then board gets even more open, and you just run it across the middle. But one of my biggest problems with this play, if you just pause it, yeah, right there. This route, it's Evan Engram, I believe, just standing in the middle of the field. Engram is standing in the middle of the field, making this window significantly tighter. That route shouldn't even be there with a deep in route. Engram just standing in the window of the deep in route is just nonsensical. Why would he be standing in that window? You know what I mean? Like he shouldn't be there. He should be running a drag or running an out. He should not be running this curl in the middle of the field when you're trying to work a dig route to the middle of the field. Because now what happens here is Jones, if you keep letting it go through, right? Jones, you're saying he should throw it here. Really, he should have waited to throw it into the middle of the field, but he couldn't because there's a guy standing there. So he has to throw it into a tighter window. And then, of course, his arm gets hit. We can talk about that on the second camera angle. But he should be waiting for Board to get across the middle and then hit him right in stride. And then he has all the field to work with. But he can't do that because Evan Engram just standing in the middle of the field. It's poor play design. It's lazy football. It's lazy play design. That's
Yeah,
my pure,
look, if
blunt analysis of it.
if they really wanted to get this open right here in man coverage, they would have just ran Evan Ingram to the flats or dragged
Right.
him across the middle of the field and taken that linebacker out. Instead, they sit Evan Ingram right in front of the route. And here,
Or
and
have
like you
him just run
mentioned
any
before,
man beating route other than
anywhere,
just walk to the
anywhere.
middle of the field and turn around. How about an in route? How about an out route? How about a corner route?
And,
Like something, whip
yeah,
route. Man beating routes. This is clearly man coverage, and they run, just sit down in a zone route.
That's exactly right.
Fucking,
And they're all playing
it's
press
lazy.
essentially, so that's how you know. That's how you know it. Mostly it's going to be man coverage because they're playing press. And here, there's another thing that you did mention. You would like him to hit that second window. The problem is I don't trust the offensive line to give him enough time to wait and to get to the second window. Because you're going to see right off the bat here in this view. You're going to see right off the bat. Andrew Thomas gets his brain rattled. I mean, Yannick Ngakoue hits him and just blows by him like a freight train. I can't even, Andrew Thomas has looked a lot better, but he did lose a couple reps in this game, and this is one of them. I put it in slow motion so you guys could kind of see it in a better angle. But you can see the middle of the field is wide open. Why they just sat Evan Engram down in the middle there instead of dragging him? Look, if they just dragged him across, even that would have been enough. If they dragged him across, hit him right there, and let him bolt upfield, it's pretty simple. Like instead,
hit him in stride.
Let's sit you in the middle of the field, wait, and then bam, it's over. But let's take a look at
that's a great point. But I want you to rewind that because I want to actually touch on that Evan Engram point you made. That's really great. So just let it play through a little bit, and then I want you to pause it once you see that Evan Engram has that drag one, right?
Bam,
so like right here, you see that this corner that I know I'm pointing because but that corner that's guarding him is so far off. It's 5 yards of separation. And look at how he's running. He's not even running down towards Engram. He's running diagonally, not diagonally, horizontally across the line, across the field, because he knows that he's beat on this drag route. He's expecting this drag route now, and he's trying to beat Engram to the line to gain. If Engram catches this ball, he's so fast, he just runs with it. This is like against Tampa Bay last year, where Engram caught that drag route and then took it 75 yards to the house. Him sitting down just invites coverage. It just invites coverage. But that corner knew he was beat. He had no chance. He had to recover. But instead, Engram just sits down. Like, he should have just ran that drag as an easy first down. You're completely right. And you can just see it with the way that this corner is playing recovery.
Actually, Chuck Clark again. It's actually Chuck Clark again, the strong safety. And look at this. You can even, like you just mentioned, look at this. He thinks it's a drag. Look at Evan Engram starting to turn around right here. And that safety, Chuck Clark, is running by him. He has to stop because he's like, why is he stopping right here?
Yeah, and then look at how Engram like hops backwards to get like even more in the middle of the field, which is just like, no, you shouldn't do that because we're trying to throw to the middle of the field. And honestly, what a better thing for Engram to have done was, like, and I don't know if this play design, whatever, he should be able to feel that this corner is running and sprinting one way, and Engram should right here. If he's not running this drag route, Engram should just take 2 more steps, plant, turn around and run a whip route, and then he's like literally no one's going to be able to catch him. He's like so wide open on that.
Andrew Thomas's rep here is terrible. I mean, just
all right, yeah. Let's talk about the Andrew Thomas rep. You've been
so right here.
Trying to get to it.
He disengages obviously from the line. He's one-on-one with Yannick Ngakoue, who's running straight at him. It looks like a bull rush, right? And Andrew Thomas probably thinks it's going to be a bull rush, and he stabs here. But look at his head. His helmet ends up over, like right here. He's okay. He's okay right here. He has a good angle on him. But watch right here. Now his head is over his knees already. He's already lost this rep. Because this is actually
the problem with Thomas
turns this into a speed rush.
He's a lunger. He keeps lunging. He's been doing it all season long. He didn't do it in college, so I don't understand why it's a problem now, but it's a problem now. He's a lunger. He keeps getting his body weight on his toes. He keeps, and he keeps going and leaning over and lunging, and you can't do that. And he just keeps doing it, and I don't know why. But also, look, this is why I said beforehand that I disagree with your analysis of throwing the ball right out of the break. Like, yeah, that makes sense. But also, if Engram's not here in the middle of the field, right, Jones can step up. Jones can step up in this pocket. He can slide left because the route is going left. So he could slide with the route out of the pocket and then hit it right over the middle, wide open. You're maybe even talking about CJ Boards catching that running in for a long touchdown, long run after catch touchdown. Like that's, if there's not an Evan Engram sitting in the middle of the field, taking away that window, that's the problem. That's my biggest problem with this play design.
That's right. And here, this is the second thing that I just tweeted out before. Dalen Jones does a little burp in the baby, as Anthony says before. Watch this right here. So right here, I think this ball personally should be out of his hand, leaving his hands right now. Because the second board The second board breaks that route. That ball should be on his chest. Instead, because you can't trust this offensive line right now, this ball has to be out quick. Because you have Yannick Ngakoue against Andrew Thomas, and he lost a couple reps to him. And this is the problem here. If DJ steps up into the pocket and watch this little double clutch, you see, watch his hands, taps the ball, and then he throws it. And this is something that young quarterbacks do, as Anthony mentioned before to me. And I think
it's called burping the baby.
Right.
When you watch the NFL scouting combine, you'll hear them talk about it, because every year there's a quarterback that steps up in there and burps a baby on one of those drills when throwing the ball. And they always say, "Ooh, that's big. No, you shouldn't do that." And, that's when they criticize young quarterbacks for that. And it's a thing that a lot of young quarterbacks do, but it's something they have to learn not to do, because a play like this, where he just disrupted the timing by just a split second, if he just gets the ball out when he's burping the baby, if he's not burping it, if he just takes it and throws it, he completes his pass. But then he takes it, burps it, and then throws it, and his arm gets pulled down and he can't get the throw off. So burping the baby, big no.
Yep, and that's exactly right. If he watches right here when he disengages that left hand, if he throws this without burping the baby right here, if he throws that ball's out and hits CJ Board in the freaking grill, that is perfect. But instead, he taps it first, and because he taps it right there, Yannick Ngakoue basically is like, "Oh, that ball's coming back. This is easy. This is beautiful. This is exactly what you want. This is exactly what Yannick Ngakoue wanted to see." And because of that split second, this throw is way behind CJ Board. It's uncatchable. And I think, like you mentioned before, if this ball is hitting him is in the air right now. This ball's in the air right now. CJ Board catches this, and we're talking about 20-yard gain, 30-yard gain. That is the difference. Football is a game of inches, and this is the difference between winning and losing. Timing like this, burping the baby, losing a rep, Andrew Thomas losing a rep, Evan Ingram standing in the middle of the field with a guy on his back in man coverage. This is the Jason Garrett play calling that makes zero sense to me. The Daniel Jones burping the baby, that is not a good habit to get into. And then you have Evan Ingram standing there like a statue, like a gargoyle on top of a building. So, this is what we're talking about. There's a lot of blame to go around. It's not just Jason Garrett. It's a little bit of DJ. It's a little bit of EE. It's a little bit of Jason.
Andrew Thomas too. Credit to CJ Board, though. He ran a great route and he got wide open. But you know what, dude? We've been begging all season long to see more drag routes from Evan Engram. And this is like one of those situations. This is why we've been begging. This is an easy first down if you just have a drag route and you throw it. It's easy, pitch, catch, run in stride. I need to see some drag routes, some shallow crossers. We don't see them in this offense, and it just doesn't make sense. Right.
And look, Evan Ingram, if Evan Ingram catches this ball right here, even earlier, let's say Evan Ingram catches, the throwing window's open on the left side, right where Evan Ingram is on the B gap. If he hits Evan Ingram right there, that cornerback 48 up top, it has his back turned. Evan Ingram catches this, he bulldozes his way to a first down with ease. This is the type of stuff. Instead, he sits down in the middle of the field. This is the type of concept that, they know they're running man coverage. They know it's man coverage. Why not throw it to Evan Ingram as a Pro Bowler instead of CJ Board?
Let me explain why this is happening in Jason Garrett's offense, right? He is used to having – these plays were all designed to fit the Cowboys personnel. This is where you would expect Jason Witten to sit down in the middle of the field, right? And that's different, because Jason Witten isn't this fast burner who's going to catch a drag route and take it for 60 yards, right? Jason Witten is a guy who sits down in the middle of the field, and when that cornerback is sitting on his back, he'll still catch it and maybe somehow even break that tackle and get a first down, because that's Jason Witten, right? He was a tank. He was literally a bulldozer. But this is Evan Engram. It's different. He's lightweight. He's fast. He's athletic. You're supposed to get it in his hands and have him run with the ball, not stand there and sit down. This is exactly a Jason Witten play. And the other thing with Jason Witten is an old veteran. So when he sits down in the middle of the field like this and he feels this cornerback on him, he doesn't sit there and plant his feet. He starts drifting the other way and getting open. That's what you would see with Jason Witten. He would start drifting to his right, and he would get himself open that way, just creating a yard, maybe two of separation. The ball will be bulleted right into his chest, and he's not going to fall down once a little corner just grabs him from the back. He's going to plow forward and get the 3 extra yards that he needs for the first down. This is a Jason Witten play, but Jason Witten isn't on the field. Jason Witten is over in Las Vegas playing for the Raiders. So it's just, I don't understand why this is how they call plays for Evan Engram. He's criminally underused, and I'm shocked that he actually made the Pro Bowl this year, because to me, this is the worst season he's had as a pro.
Yep. And there's your, your second play for Jason Garrett. We're going to be breaking down more plays, of course, during the offseason and whatnot, seeing what went wrong, what they're doing here. But a lot of it is just a misuse of personnel, bad timing. There was a scenario where they had 3 sacks consecutively. There was a scenario where they had 2 false starts in a row on third down from veterans. I think it was Fleming
Sloppy football.
and Kevin Zeitler. So it's just sloppy football. And, you expect your coaches to, especially ones that are 15-year veterans, to have more discipline with your players. They should be, eliminating some of these minor faults and these small, mistakes. But, here we are in week 16 still dealing with this crap. So I would really hope the Giants evaluate this offense and look at it realistically and say, this is not something we can move forward with. The offense is lacking discipline. The play calling is bad. The personnel fits to the scheme is bad. The route concepts are bad. Evan Ingram standing in the middle of the field like a gargoyle. This is where we are. This is where we are in week 16. It's embarrassing. And we have to sit here and look at it. And really, I would much more enjoy to watch Daniel Jones sling the ball downfield to Darius Slayton, and connect like he was last year. 8 touchdowns for Slayton. This year he has 3. 2 of them were in week 1. So this is where we are. This is what's going on. And I hope you guys, learned a little bit something from these videos. And I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. And we'll catch you on the next one.